My top piece of advice for someone who wants to become a solicitor or is thinking about it would be to get some work experience in a law firm, because there's nothing more valuable than actually working in a law firm and seeing what it's like in real life, because it's not definitely for everyone, and until you try it you don't know. My second piece of advice would be to work really hard, because getting into the legal field is very competitive, and unfortunately it's not necessarily just about having good grades anymore, it's about all the additional things that you can do, so your extracurricular activities, any work experience you can do. So the more work you can do now to put yourself ahead of the game will put you in good stead when you come to embarking on your legal career.
The advice I'd give somebody going into banking, absolutely give it the option. So you know, banking shouldn't be ruled out because of what happened, you know, sort of 10 years ago. So my advice would be, first of all, be authentic. So I learned a rule about probably 15 years ago, was to be yourself, bring your whole self to work, because I found it increasingly difficult trying to be this banker that actually wasn't me. So being authentic and being yourself is one key thing. I've always said, and this is how I invest my time back now with individuals, is really seek out that network, you know, form networks that work for you on so many different levels, whether it's a personal level, a business level. They will help you and find opportunities when you don't think there's any opportunities there. Being happy in what you do. I strive to be happy. If I don't, it's not up to everybody else to find happiness, it's down to me. And that's why before these last 10 years, I've changed roles every 2.5 years, because I get a little bit bored, and once I've done my job I want to move on and grow even more. But finding that point of happiness throughout your career, and when the point that I'm not happy, it's time for me to look for the change and for me to make the change.
My advice is to study and get your qualifications. The basics of the maths and the English always help with everything, and just to always look for opportunities and be confident in what you do.
My tips for young people starting a career would be not to expect yourself to know everything in the first instance. You learn things as you go along, and there's never always one answer to a question. I'd also advise to not be put down by people thinking that you're inexperienced. Just because you're young and you've not necessarily worked in the industry before, it doesn't mean that you can't prove people wrong.
Obviously, the main thing that I would suggest is to keep your options open, and if recruitment is something that you would consider, obviously the opportunities are endless, both monetary-wise and position-wise, for example. So myself actually started as a temp in branch, so I was a temporary member of staff for Pertemps myself in the first instance when I was a resourcer. Within a year of me being with the company, obviously I've learned the aspect of everything else in the role, so the sales, etc., which got myself to an industrial consultant as opposed to just a resourcer, and I actually got myself a permanent role within the company in that time as well. And for example, my branch manager also started off the same way that I did, and he's been with the company now for 4 years and he's managing his own branch, which kind of gives you the drive to want to do the same thing. So definitely the opportunities within companies, especially Pertemps, obviously.